Hello historians, and welcome to another Purple Shirt History. In this video, we'll look at book reports and how we can use them to really get kids interested in going deeper into historical topics. You may think that book reports are something that are done only either in elementary school or for younger children, but I've found that book reports can be excellent at IGCSE level and even at A level. We'll also look through other websites and apps like Goodreads and Audible.com to really infuse reading in our lessons and to engender a real love of going above and beyond the textbooks and getting into deeper subjects. If you find this video useful, please like, comment, and subscribe. I look forward to answering any questions you might have below. So relax, sit back, get your notebook, and enjoy the video. Here, I'm really going to try to make the case for you to use book reports in your IGCSE and A-level curriculum. I think they're a wonderful tool. Why do a book report? There's many reasons, but I think the number one reason is to really get a love of learning and reading. So it strengthens the language skills of native speakers and non-native speakers alike. You can gauge what kind of book the student will read based on their skills to stretch them. Increases background knowledge of big themes. So for example, Cold War space race. Normally you wouldn't do too much on the space race, but you can do it in a book report. And it improves critical thinking. So they're going to have to think, did they like this book? Would they recommend it to someone else? There's a lot of thought as to how they perceived the book, if it was any good or not, if they thought it helped them with their learning of the core subject material or the depth study. So they're going to need to think if they like the book, why they like the book, why they dislike the book. Was the book biased? There's just a lot of skills that they'll be able to use when they're writing their report. So the report will be a 500-word summary and opinion piece. It's two parts to the report: summarizing it, letting the teacher know that they understood the concepts and big ideas. And the second part is the opinion piece where they'll recommend it or not recommend it. So this is a nice critical thinking and overall comprehension test that the student will have to complete with this assignment. I find it's best to assign it around November before the holiday season. They'll have a winter break to do a lot of reading and kind of start to structure the outline of their book report. So if it's a Christmas holiday, for those like me that were teaching in China, there's a big Chinese New Year holiday. There's spring holidays, spring break in most countries around the world. So kind of align it to have a large break where the students are out of school for a while and they'll have more time to read. I think it's a really nice finishing touch to kind of showcase the book report. So you can contact the school librarian and see if it's all right with both the librarian and the student to hang up the book report next to a copy. And it really showcases that particular book and usually generates more interest in kids reading it. So not only is it good for the student that needs to read the book, but it also is good for the school community, and it spreads that love of reading and benefits from doing that book report throughout the school. Here we are on the Goodreads homepage. I'm just going to navigate through the top here. So you have home. I set up a brand new account so you can see what it looks like. Pretty fresh. Here's the books, my books, browse. And as you set up your Goodreads, there's going to be a bunch of choices for favorite genres. As you can see, everything that's pretty much history related, I clicked. So biography, classics, historical fiction, history, memoir, nonfiction. I thought those were all apt. And then the community, there's different groups and discussion areas, which are quite nice as well. So Goodreads is free. You can set up an account, and I think it's incredibly useful. Let me search The Guns of August by Barbara Tuchman. So this is a book that I really love. I have one of my students doing a book report on it now. It's pretty much a seminal book on World War I. 1962, I believe it was written. And we see here a cover. And if you click on Show More, it has the entire kind of description. And I just think this is a great book. It goes through a lot of the international option questions for the first theme, the Age of Imperialism, 1817 to 1919. So that's the first section of the syllabus for AS, the paper to international option. So Shelf, I read this one. This is a great book, like I said. I'm going to tag this as both IGCSE and A-level because we have that World War I depth study. So if down the road I want to reread some passages and do the depth study for World War I, it'll be in that list as well. So I have it in 2 separate lists. You can create as many lists as you want. 5 stars, worthy, in my opinion. So yeah, the more input you give, it's going to affect the algorithm. I'm not going to follow Barbara Tuchman because she's passed on, but I can write a full review if I want to. Here are the shelves. My rating is 5 stars. If I had the inclination, I can write a few paragraphs with my thoughts on the Guns of August. So you can set the dates of when you started reading the book, when you finished reading the book, and post then. So that's a pretty comprehensive overview of selecting a book, rating a book, looking at all the aspects. So let's do one more. Here's a series of books that I really want to recommend. Access to History. So the first 2 are very near and dear to me, Russia and the French Revolution. So let's just do the first one, Russia, Reaction and Revolution, Russia 1894 to 1924 by Michael Lynch. When I did the Russia depth study for IGCSE, this was one of my textbooks. It's recommended for A-level, but I use it as a supplementary book for IGCSE as well, so I would put it in both shelves. Again, read this one many a time, and I will add my tags. Michael Lynch has wrote a couple very good books, a couple Russian ones and a couple German ones. So you can search for his name and you'll see the books that he's written in the series. There he is there, 173 books. And there's more suggestions. I believe I had a student do The Spy That Came In From the Cold. So here are the ratings again. I mean, 1 stars, 2 stars. I'm not sure what the people were really expecting from this textbook, but I would say it's definitely 4 or 5 stars because it gives the students a great overview and it really prepares them for the Cambridge examinations. Last one I'll look up is Ben Walsh. All the teachers know that Ben Walsh is the author of the main textbook for option B. So you see some of the other books he's written. If you didn't know that he did all these books, you can kind of explore more with each one of these resource books and workbooks and stuff like that. But let's just click on the main textbook that most people use, the Cambridge approved textbook. So Cambridge IGCSE Modern World History, option B, the 20th century. There's a new edition, a 3rd edition that just came out this year. So like I said in the previous video, there's a lot of changes in the syllabus with the paper 2 and paper 4. And there's also an upgrade, a refresh, however you want to phrase it, for the textbook. So this is an older textbook. It's got the green cover, and then the next one had a red cover, and the one that came out just this year also had all this barbed wire and pretty much the same font and same layout, but it just has a blue cover. So I've read this book many a time, and I'll just put IGCSE as my tag for it. So there you are. That's an overview of Goodreads website. I have a Purple Shirt History Goodreads that I'll be really trying to curate, and I will put it in the description. So come along, feel free to see what I'm reading, and I'd be more than happy to discuss books for book reports, ones that I've already done and ones that I'd like to do. Love your thoughts as well as to what you think would be a good book report book.